At this point, it's completely inappropriate that you even had a relationship with my daughter. And because I'm not a completely heartless person, I'm not going to let my husband kill you. But if you stay in the picture, I will have to tell him and he will kill you. So this is what's going to happen. Hi everyone, it's Kaycee, aka OBiGem. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell to be notified of all future videos. And if you like what you see, please do hit the like button so I know to keep making content like this. So we are back with another episode of Current Household. So I normally don't do current household updates more than like monthly. So it hasn't actually been that long since the last one, but some technical difficulties happened this weekend where I have no internet right now. So it got me playing some other households. There's a lot of setup I wanted to do with other Let's Plays this weekend that require me to have the internet on my laptop. So we're not gonna stress that. We're just gonna focus on this because I got a whole lot of tea in this current household. So y'all just need to strap in and sit tight because this is gonna be a doozy. But as you can see, we are with Kaycee Vu Alexander right now. So I know y'all are probably curious why we're here with Kaycee instead of Kalani, since Kalani is the heir. Well, little Kaycee woke up this morning and noticed something about herself that has her feeling like she has some news to spread. So I know y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but if you were paying attention during last current household, maybe you do. But we are gonna just jump right in, and I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what is going on with our little Kaycee Vu Alexander. So if you guys remember, oh, look at Noah. He's gazing out the window. Look at Noah. He thinks it's gonna be a bright, sunny day. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. He thinks it's gonna be a bright, beautiful, sunny day, and from his perspective, hey, maybe it will be. He's looking very optimistic here, but his world's about to, come shuddering down because his baby girl Kaycee is pregnant. Look at that bump. She is pregnant, and who y'all think the daddy is? I think we all know. It's Kino's best friend. This is Drayden's baby. So Kaycee is actually super thrilled. She's like, oh my gosh, it finally happened for us. I am pregnant with Drayden's baby, so now I can finally tell my parents that we're seeing each other and everything's gonna be okay because they can't kill him because he's the father of their soon-to-be first ever grandchild. With the exception of Kalani's baby who she miscarried. So I guess technically this will be their first one, but there was that first one. I think Kino especially considers that first baby that miscarries to be her first ever grandchild, and they all feel there's a sore spot in the family about that. But that aside, she's thinking about what grandchildren they actually have present in their lives. She's like, this will be their first grandchild. They can't hate Drayden because he's the dad. Poor little delusional Kaycee. But anyway, now that she knows, she's all like, look, I gotta go. I'm gonna go ahead right over to Drayden's right now because I gotta tell him the good news. He's gonna be so thrilled. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna travel with Miss Kaycee to see Drayden so that she could tell Drayden the news. So Kaycee rushed right over to Drayden's place in Windenburg, and he was totally shocked to hear from her so early in the morning. He's all like, what's going on? You seem so urgent to come over here, and you normally don't see each other till, the evening time when you can get away. Which is true, that's how she's been seeing him. She's just been waiting till most of the house goes to sleep at night, and then she'll sneak over to Drayden's, and then sometimes she'll even just stay over and then go to school, or when she was in high school anyway, she would go to school from Drayden's and then, just tell them that she was staying over at a friend's house so that no one would be suspicious. Now that she's an adult, she's just been, staying out later and then coming back later and then just not really divulging to her family where she's been all night. They've, I guess, just been assuming that she's been out, with friends and partying because she's older. But it's not really part of their routine for her to come over in the morning to see him. So obviously Drayden is a surprise. So she's like, oh, I'm so glad that we were able to see each other. I've got some good news, but first let me kiss you. So she gives him a kiss and he's like, wow, what's this for? Like, what's going on? And she's like, Drayden, I've got some amazing news to share with you. And he's all like, well, what is it? And she's like, I thought you'd notice just by looking at me, but I just wanted to tell you that we're pregnant. I'm having a baby. He's like, no, you're making that up. You're kidding. And she's like, no, for real. Look at me, honey. Like, I'm pregnant. We're gonna have a baby. Like, what do you think about that? So it looks like Drayden's taking this relatively well, because from this book it says all is well. Renouncing pregnancy, Kaycee's partner took the news of the pregnancy rather well. They're open to having children and are glad to share this experience with Kaycee. What a relief. That is a relief. I honestly thought that Drayden was going to take it poorly, but it looks like he's taking it pretty well. He's like, you know that I love you and whatnot, and we've discussed our future a whole lot, so I guess us having a kid together could be okay. And she's like, I'm so glad you said that, because honestly, like, being a mother is something that I've honestly, like, really wanted for a while, and I definitely, want it to be with you because I love you. She's like, I'm just so excited to be pregnant, Drayden, but obviously, now that I'm pregnant, I think it's finally time. And he's all like, time for what? And she's like, like, I really think that now that we're pregnant that we should start discussing potentially getting married, but in order to do that, we have to tell my parents that we're seeing each other. And Drayden's all like, I don't know about that, Kaycee. I love you, I do, but you know how complicated our relationship is. Most people aren't going to understand. They're going to look at us and they're going to, think certain things about me being with you, especially your parents. I'm pretty sure your dad might actually try to kill me if he finds out that we've been together, and now that we're having, a baby together, he's going to know that we've been sleeping with each other, and I'm pretty sure he will try to murder me for that. And your mother, she and I have a complicated past. I don't think she would understand. And Kaycee is like, Drayden, but we have to. Look, this is actually a good thing. Now that I'm pregnant, they'll probably be a whole lot more understanding and softer on you because you're going to be family now. So, look, my idea is that we tell my mom first. Since she's your best friend, she should be the most understanding between my mom and dad. If we can get my mom on board, then she can smooth things over with my dad and things will be great. And Drayden's all like, I think this is potentially a bad idea, but at the same time, it's going to be something where they're going to find out eventually, so now that you're pregnant. So, look, if you can set the whole thing up, I'm on board with you, telling your mom about it, and then we can kind of just figure it out from there. And she's like, look, Drayden, I think this will be good. We'll be able to be a real family, and I'm just so excited about it. And she really is. Kaycee's future has been highly wrapped around Drayden and what they have going on, to the point where she hasn't really put a whole lot of thought into what her future plans are outside of being with him, which is like super unfortunate because you never want your whole future to just be like wrapped around some guy. But that is what Kaycee has chosen to do because she's not really thinking straight. She's really, still very young and thinking from that mindset. And everybody's like always like really said, Kaycee, you are so pretty, you should kind of like see how far that could take you as far as a career. So she actually did recently sign with a modeling agency. She's hoping, hey, maybe I can do some commercial modeling, and that should, be pretty lucrative, especially since, I'm not planning on going to college or anything. So, modeling can help me really get my start, being on my own. Now that she's pregnant, though, I don't know how well that modeling career is going to go. Maybe she can be like, in my not so very same Nora Everberry, who was like a mommy model for a bit. Maybe she could do that. But right now, she's all like, at this point, I'm already signed to this agency. I sold a couple photos to a publication. Maybe I can like take some pregnancy selfies and send those out, and then potentially get my start that way. And she's all like, look, I should probably get back and get some rest, and then I'll talk to my mom in the morning about this whole thing. I'm so sure that mom will be understanding of this. I mean, I'm pregnant with her grandchild. I saw how thrilled she was when Kalani said that she was pregnant, so I'm expecting the same reception. And then once she is all happy and thrilled for this baby, then me and Drayden can get married and have like a real family, and I'm so excited for that. Now, before we speed through to tomorrow morning with the breakfast confrontation with Kino and Kaycee, I did want to quickly check back in with Camden. If you guys remember from the last current household, Camden got the sad news that he was rejected from university, and Caden got into university. So Caden did tell her parents. In fact, Caden is actually about to set off to uni tomorrow morning. She did decide to go to Brightchester instead of Foxbury. Foxbury was her first choice, but unfortunately, she didn't qualify for the distinguished degree program for veterinary sciences that she wanted to. So she's going to Brightchester. She's a little bit disappointed about that, but she's like, you know what? I think it might be good to go to a different college than my dad just to experience that. And plus, Kalani went to Brightchester. So, there's that. But anyway, when she told her parents, Camden had to come clean and say, look, I didn't get into uni. But remember, I flipped that coin to let you guys know if he would be reapplying or just going straight into the workforce. So the decision of that coin toss, and I flipped the coin like 3 times, but Camden actually will be reapplying. Every single time I flipped the coin, it was towards that. So the reason why I'm stopping to give you this update is because we finally got it finally passed that time, that frame. You know how you can't reapply right away, so I just finally got the option to apply to uni again, so thank goodness for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and have Camden reapply right now. So he's he's a little bit nervous about that because he did already get rejected, so he's like, I can't get rejected twice. I really hope that they accept my application this time, and he's hoping he gets in, and so he could start a semester after Caden does. So that is that one. But we will be going ahead and speeding through this night till the next morning so we can have our little breakfast conversation with Kaycee and Kino. So it is the next morning, and the whole house is kind of bustling. So Kaycee's a little bit nervous because she's like, I was hoping I could get mom privately and talk to her about this, but since everybody wants to be awake and around, I'm gonna have to play a lot more coy than I was anticipating. So she's like, good morning, mother, like, how are you? And she's like, I'm having a good morning, Kaycee, how are you? And she is noticing that Kaycee's kind of bundled up a little bit more than she normally is, and she's like, oh, it looks like Kaycee put back on some of the weight that she lost, because Kaycee did lose like a lot of weight. She really got into fitness after she became a young adult, and she lost like a ton of weight. She was a little bit bigger as a teen. So she's like, oh, it looks like she put some of that back on. I was a little bit worried about her maybe losing too much weight too fast, so that's kind of a good thing, I guess. But she's like, I'm good. What's going on, baby girl? And Kaycee's like, Mom, I was wondering, could we maybe have breakfast together this morning? She's like, breakfast? Like, honey, I have work a little bit, and I thought you were starting that modeling job. What's going on? And she's all like, I am, but I actually decided to do some work from home tasks today, and there's something I really need to talk to you about. Could you maybe take a PTO day? I mean, I'm pretty sure you've been working at that job of yours, a pretty long time. They could spare you for like 1 day, right? And Kino's looking at her like a bit suspicious, and she's like, she's never asked me before to take time off from work just because to have breakfast, so this has to be something serious. I wonder what's going on with her. She's like, I know her sister Caden's going off for university. We're supposed to be going out to dinner night to kind of send her off and celebrate that, but maybe she's feeling a little left behind since Camden's reapplying, and then Caden's going away. Maybe she's feeling a little bit left behind, lonely, because the rest of her triplet siblings are leaving. So she's like, maybe that's what it is. She's like, you know what, I could take a PTO day to spend some time with my baby girl and reassure her, so sure, why not? Well, I could take a PTO day, I guess. She's like, if it's that serious, baby girl, I guess I can, take a PTO day and have breakfast with you out of, She's like, thank you. It's kind of something serious I want to talk to you about. She's like, okay, sure, why not? Let me just get, my things, and then you and I will go out and, get some breakfast together. And she's like, that sounds great, Mom. Thanks. You're the best. So Kino and Kaycee have come to the Diner Palace to have a little bit of breakfast. It's actually later in the morning because I was going to have them go to the Lighthouse restaurant, but this save can be super buggy with restaurants for some reason and will error out for some of them, so that restaurant was causing us trouble, so we decided to come to this one instead. So Kino's all like, you look pretty hungry, honey, let's go ahead and go get a table. And she's like, yeah, we can do that, Mom, in a minute, but I actually invited somebody else to join us. And she's like, oh, like who are we waiting for? And she's like, you'll see in just a minute, they're on their way, they should be here in just a second. So lo and behold, who should come in but Drayden, or Kino's best friend, Drayden. So Kino notices him right away, and she's all like, is that Drayden over there? She's all like, what's he doing here? So she's gonna come over and kind of just confirm that this is in fact Drayden over here. She's like, Drayden, I thought that was you. What are you doing here? Oh my gosh, like, what's going on? She's like, I don't think I've seen you since, no one and I got married at our wedding. What's going on? Why are you here? And he's like, oh, hi, Kino, you look great. Like, what's going on? She's like, thank you. I try to keep myself looking good, even though, we're old now. He's like, yeah, you really look amazing. And, Kino and Drayden used to mess around. And despite the fact that she's married to Noah now and she kind of let all that stuff go, she really, like, got tickled by a compliment from Drayden. Like, oh, he thinks I'm still attractive. I love that. Kino is such a mess bucket. But she's like, yeah, but you haven't answered my question. Like, what's going on? Like, why are you here? Like, I haven't seen you in so long. It just seems like such a coincidence that I would see you here. And of course, like, Kaycee's over here and like, Mom, this is like not so much a coincidence as you think. I kind of invited him here. but Kaycee is not really speaking up about it. So Drayden's actually like, well, I mean, I'm here because I was invited, actually. And she's like, oh, who? You meeting somebody here? And he's like, actually, I am here to meet the two of you. And she's like, what are you talking about, the two of us? And, me and my daughter decided, last minute to have breakfast here. How could you possibly be meeting us here? So right at that moment, Kaycee's like, okay, this is my cue, I gotta say something. She's like, Mom, actually, I invited Drayden. And she's like, oh, like, that's weird. Why'd you invite your Uncle Drayden? And she's like, yeah, I think it's best if I explain that at the breakfast table. Why don't we all get a table together and I'll explain everything. She's like, okay, I mean, this is kind of weird. I don't know what's going on. But, from Kino's perspective, she's like, maybe she thought that, it's been too long since I've seen Drayden. She's trying to help us, reestablish our friendship. That's actually quite sweet. So she's like, I guess I'll see what her spiel is at the table, though. So they have sat down at the diner at their table. It took way too long to get this table, y'all. It was breakfast, and now it's like late afternoon. It's lunch. So we're gonna try and get through this as quickly as possible. I do have Carl's Sim Guides tuning mod in here, so it should make the restaurant food at least come out faster, but we'll see. Anyway, Kaycee is over here singing about Night Out of Town. Don't ask me why. She's all like, it is nice that we're getting out to do this, honey, but I'm still confused about why you asked Drayden to eat with us. You told me that you wanted to have, breakfast with just you and me. And she's like, I mean, I did say, Mom, that I did want to, have breakfast with you, but the intention was always to invite Drayden as well. And, they're getting their orders taken right now. They did all order stuff. And so they're gonna get through that, and Kino's like, well, let's order, but I need more details here because this is confusing to me, honey. And Kaycee's all like, sure, so now that we've ordered, there's something I need to tell you, Mom. It's super important. She's like, yeah, you've been saying that all morning. What's going on? And she's like, well, Mom, the truth is, Mom, well, I'm just gonna come out right out and tell you, I'm pregnant. And Kino's all like, what? You're pregnant? When did that happen? Oh my gosh, like, congratulations. And because Kino is such a lover of babies, the first thing that comes to her mind is not really, like, who the father is, because she's just so excited. She's like, I'm actually going to get to be a grandmother. I'm so excited. Like, this is going to be great. And, but then she's thinking about it. She's like, but honey, like, I didn't even know you were dating anybody. Like, you're pregnant, but who's the dad? And she's like, well, Mom, that's part of the reason why, I invited Drayden over. And she's all like, I'm not following. She's like, well, the father of my baby, Mom, it's Drayden. And she's all like, I thought I heard you wrong. I thought I heard you say that Drayden was the father. Real funny. And Kaycee's all like, no, Mom, that wasn't a joke. Drayden's the father of my baby. And Drayden's looking like real nervous. He's like, yeah, Kino, I'm the dad of Kaycee's baby. She's not kidding. So with Kaycee pretty much confirming to Kino that Drayden is the father of her baby, Kino's like really letting that sink in. She's all like, this kid is not serious. She was sleeping with my best friend this entire time, and now she's pregnant by him. He's how much older than her? He's old enough to be her father, her grandfather, and she's all like, Drayden, what the hell? Like, what were you doing with my daughter? You were sleeping with my kid this entire time? And Drayden's looking at her like, this is not what it looks like. Kaycee and I, we just fell in love and whatnot. And Kino's looking at him like, what type of answer is that? What do you mean you just fell in love? My kid just turned like 20, like not that long ago. When did you guys even get into a relationship? What type of, BS is this? She's all like, Drayden, what is wrong with you? She's my baby. You were sleeping with my baby this entire time? Like, who does that? And Drayden's just like completely over it. He's all like, you just don't understand. Like, things just happen really fast, we fell in love with each other. Like, you're looking at this completely wrong. And Kaycee's over here looking absolutely devastated. She's like, I didn't think this would happen. I thought for sure that, as soon as Mom learned that, Drayden was the father of my baby, that, everything would, be okay, they'd be better. But things are exploding. And that's because, Kaycee, you were being completely delusional. This was never going to work. This was never going to be the solution. But she's all like, Drayden, like, this is ridiculous. You're about to have a baby with my baby. And he's all like, you don't understand. Like, we're both adults. We just, we fell in love with each other. And she's like, that's not acceptable to me. It's not. Like, this is sick. You were sleeping with my daughter. This is sick. Is absolutely livid right now, and she has every right to be. She's like, I cannot believe Drayden did this. Like, everything that we've been through together for as long as we've been friends, I never would have thought he would be capable of something like this. And I'm just like utterly disgusted. I don't even know where to go with this. And she's all like thinking, she's like, look, this is a whole mess, and I know that I've lived a messy life in my past, but I'm older now. I have kids. They're all growing up, and they're being adults, and I don't want any of them to repeat the same messy mistakes I made when I was a young adult. So I need to fix this somehow so that Kaycee can have a halfway normal life despite what has been going on between her and Drayden. But I'm gonna try and fix this. So Kino is still like going at Drayden, and he deserves it, but Drayden's not taking this seriously at all. She's like, just relax. We're gonna have a baby. You'll be fine. She's like, you know what, Kaycee, honey, why don't you use the bathroom? I'm pretty sure that the baby's probably pressing really hard on your bladder right now. Why don't you, take a break? And she's like, sure, Mom. I could use a bathroom break. I'll be right back. Don't be up too much on Drayden, okay? And she's like, sure, honey. Just, go ahead and go use the bathroom. So Kino is over here looking and to make sure, like, Kaycee's out of earshot and she's on her way to the bathroom. She's like, yep, I see her going. Now I'm gonna go ahead and have the real conversation with Drayden, because I know for damn sure he's not over here thinking that, things are all peachy keen and that we're just gonna be one big happy family with him knocking up my baby girl. That's not how things are gonna work. So Kino is like, look, Drayden, I don't know what happened between you and my daughter. That whole situation is disgusting to me and sick, and I don't know what's wrong with you that you would think that it would be okay for you to have that type of relationship with my daughter, but it's not okay. And Drayden's all like, look, Kino, I understand, but like, things just happened really quickly and we fell in love with each other. So Kino says, well, that's not the type of love that I prescribe by. This is insane. And Drayden's all like, well, like, what do you want me to do about it now? And she's like, well, there's nothing to do about it now. My daughter's pregnant with your child. But this is what is going to happen from now on. First of all, if I tell my husband that you got our baby girl pregnant, guess what he's going to do, Drayden? He's going to kill you. And you know what? I would completely stand by that. You deserve to be martyred over this. You slept with my daughter and you knocked her up. That's messed up. And Drayden's all like, what the heck? What the heck, Kino? You're just gonna go ahead and let Kino rip me apart just because, we're pregnant? And she's all like, yeah, Drayden, that's exactly what I would let happen because this situation is disgusting. And the fact that you don't see that is proof that maybe I never really knew you at all. I don't know at point you changed. Once upon a time, you used to be a sweet guy. I used to be in love with you and I thought that we could, have a future together. Now I'm so glad that I met Noah and that we started a family together, because Noah is like 10 times, 50 times, 800 times the man that you'll ever be. He would never do anything as disgusting as this, and there's no way you could ever make up for this. And Drayden's all like, well, what do you want me to do about it then? And she's like, well, what I want you to do is I need you to completely exit left out of my daughter's life. How is that going to work? We're about to have a child together. You want me to abandon my child? You want me to not be in my kid's life? You can say a lot of stuff about me, Kino, but I'm always in my kid's life. I'm even in my kid's life I had with, your friend Melody that I hooked up with at your birthday party. And Kino's like, yeah, thanks for reminding me about that. Because that's part of the reason why her and Drayden kind of like slowed down their situationship when she was still hooking up with him, because he got another girl pregnant, her friend Melody. But anyway, she's all like, look, at this point, it's completely inappropriate that you even had a relationship with my daughter. And because I'm not a completely heartless person, I'm not going to let my husband kill you. But if you stay in the picture, I will have to tell him and he will kill you. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to pack your bags, you're going to disappear, and you're going to send my daughter a text message and tell her that it's over and that you're going to be, not being around for her. And Drayden's all like, why would I do something like that? And she's all like, you're going to do something like that because I'm going to give you 20,000 simoleons to completely get out of my daughter's life and to never see her again. He's like, 20,000? Like, whoa. And Kino's all like, look, Drayden, I know you've been having money issues, and I know that 20,000 simoleons is going to be something that's going to do a whole lot of good for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and get out of here, and you're going to take my $20,000 simoleons, and you're going to never see my daughter again. And like, she kind of hushed it when she said it that time, because Kaycee came back to the table and she's like, what's going on? And she's all like, so right now I'm gonna hug you and I'm gonna whisper into your ear about how you're gonna take this money and how you're gonna disappear out of our lives forever. Send my daughter that text saying that you're never going to see her again, and then I will handle things from there. Sound good to you? Comprende? And Drayden's all like, fine, Kino, I'll take your money and I'll disappear. And I won't see your daughter again. That's fine. I could use the money. I have been having money issues. But, it's going to be on you to describe or explain to her why you kind of, drove the love of her life away. And Kino's like, you know what, Drayden, my daughter's young. She'll get over it. And she'll meet somebody else, someone more age appropriate, and her life will be just fine. So just take your money and go. You and I are not friends anymore, and I never want to hear from you again. And if I ever so much as sniff you around my family, I will tell my husband everything and make sure that he kills you. So, take that. He's like, fine, whatever. I guess I'll take your money and I won't talk to you again. And she's like, sounds like a good plan to me, Drayden. I cannot believe how much you've changed since we were kids. I used to love you and you did something like this. So this is just insane. And, I hope that you someday really reflect on this before you die and see how messed up this was. But until that day, don't ever contact anyone in my family again. Okay, Drayden? Bye. So as you can see, Kino sat back down at the table, but Drayden noticeably left after that conversation. So Kaycee's looking like, where's Drayden going? So she's like, Mom, is Drayden, did he go to use the bathroom or something? And Kino's like, no, honey, he didn't. He left. And she's like, well, why would he do that? We were having a conversation about my pregnancy. And she's all like, look, honey, I hate to break this to you, but while you were in the bathroom, Drayden told me that this whole pregnancy is a little too much for him and more than what he wanted. And he told me he doesn't want to be involved and he's leaving town. And Kaycee's all like, Mom, that sounds silly. Why would he do something like that? He would never say that. He loves me. And Kino's all like, honey, I understand, but, that's what he said to me. He said that he was going away and that he didn't want to be involved. And Kaycee's all like, Mom, he wouldn't do that. And she's like, you can call him right now if you told me, if he told me this. And Kaycee's like, I mean, I don't believe that. You don't understand how strong our connection is, Mom. Like, Drayden and I have been super tight our whole entire relationship. You would know that because you just found out about it. And Kino's like, honey, I know, but like, I've known Drayden my entire life. I've known him longer than you've been alive. So if I tell you that Drayden told me he didn't want to be involved, then I seriously mean it. He didn't want to be involved. That's what he said. So if you want to call him and ask him, you can go ahead and be my guest. But Drayden said he didn't want to be involved and he was leaving town. And, you know, I even tried to call him, 2 seconds ago, and he's not answering his phone at all. And she's like, but that's crazy. When I told him I was pregnant, he was really excited. He wanted to be there. Like, this doesn't make any sense, mother. And, Kino's like, look, Kaycee, I'm just telling you what I heard. So Kaycee, real quickly did try and text him, and she sent a bunch of texts, and Drayden's not returning any of her text messages. She's like, this doesn't make any sense, Mom. Like, why would he do this? And Kino's like, honestly, honey, Drayden's always been pretty wishy-washy the entire time that I've known him. He's my best friend, so I always gave him the benefit of the doubt, but it was really only a matter of time before he would do something like this. She's like, that's awful. Like, I was so in love with him, and I thought we were going to be together. I really thought he was going to propose to me. And she's like, honey, if I had $1 and a dime for every single time I thought Drayden was going to propose to me. She's all like, you guys used to date? She's like, honey, it was kind of ancient history, but, by the time you and your siblings were born. But, yeah, we did used to have a thing. I'm sorry that he did this to you. But honestly, I think that this is a good thing that you found out sooner or later, rather than later. It's not so great because you're pregnant by him now, but just imagine how much worse it would have been if you got in deeper with him than this. She's like, I guess you're right. And she's like, look, honey, I have an idea. I think for right now, it might be a good idea for you to go away. And she's like, Mom, you want me to go away just because I'm pregnant? And she's like, it's not just that. I honestly just think you need a change of scenery or something to kind of help you through this pregnancy. I feel like if we tell your daddy right now everything that happened, it could be a huge disaster, and I'm trying to avoid that. And Kaycee's like, I understand, Mother. And she's like, look, I'm going to give Connie a call in the morning and ask her if you can, stay out in Del Sol Valley with her throughout your pregnancy. Connie, is pretty established with her and, Adeline. And, it should be only a matter of time before she has her own place. They're living in an apartment right now, but I still think it might be good for you to spend some time with your sister. And she's like, I get it. And honestly, the tea right now with Kalani and Adeline, I completely forgot to tell you guys, but Kalani and Adeline are engaged. I'll drop in the screenshots right now, but they got engaged not too long ago. So, they're in the midst of planning their wedding and building their life. Kalani right now is saving money to buy a house. They are living in an apartment in Del Sol Valley right now. So, there's not a whole lot of space there, but in Kino's mind, what she's thinking is, I don't want her to be in Brindleton Bay with the rest of the family. That's what got her into this mess where she's pregnant by Drayden now. I feel like if I let her stay here and have her pregnancy, not only will I have to explain the whole mess to Noah and it'll be a whole disaster, but I have like a sneaking suspicion that she'll still try and sneak out and see Drayden. And if Drayden doesn't leave town right away with that 20,000 simoleons that I'm giving him, then I don't know what's going to happen. It could be a whole disaster. The whole thing could blow up. And the only way this works is that Drayden stays away. So she's like, I'm going to give Kalani a call. And then, tonight, when Caden goes off to uni, I'm going to go ahead and send off Kaycee to Del Sol Valley for Kalani to watch over. Obviously, Kalani already knows about the whole Drayden thing, but Kino's gonna have to film Blake to tell her, yeah, she's pregnant by him now, and I know that she's gonna be completely gooped when she finds out about that. She's like, that's the plan right now. I'll go ahead, and as soon as I send Kaycee off to spend time with Kalani, I will just make up a story to Noah and tell him that she got, pregnant by a random, and then we won't ever speak of Drayden again. He's just not in the picture. So that is the plan, but I'm going to go ahead and let them, finish up for tonight, having, their meal. She's going to try to cheer up, and she's over here talking at Del Sol Valley and saying, look, honey, it'll be great. I think it'd actually be really great for you to be out in Del Sol Valley with Kalani anyway, with you, getting into modeling and whatnot. Obviously, you're going to have to explain to your agency that you're pregnant, and that might slow some jobs down. But once, you have the baby and, lose the baby weight, I'm sure your modeling, will pick right back up and you'll be good. Kalani's, a fashion photographer. She could help you. I think this is going to be a really good match. And she's like, that is true. Kalani is, gearing up to be like a famous fashion photographer. So, you know, maybe she could help me with getting some modeling gigs. She's like, that's a spirit, honey. I think this will be a good fit for you. But, you know, it's getting late. We're both tired. Let's go ahead and head back home. And look, Kino's even thinking about Kalani right now after she made that suggestion. She's all like, I gotta call Lonnie as soon as I get home, let her know about this whole mess, and then we're gonna get Kaycee's bags packed so that she can go ahead and go and spend time with her. But that is where we're going to leave things, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and send Kaycee, or not Kaycee, Kayden. I'm going to go ahead and send Kaycee to uni and Eric. All the K's in this family. I'm going to go ahead and send Kayden to uni and send Kaycee to live with Kalani off screen. But we are going to leave things off here. So what did you guys think of this Skirt household? Isn't that insane? What happened here? I am curious to see your thoughts down below. Do you think that this family secret was going to stay a family secret, or do you think that Noah's going to find out at some point that the baby that his baby girl is carrying is actually Drayden's? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. But as always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and of course, stay dazzled. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Never be cool with the cool kids, but look who's